I first pitched the Phoenix launch campaign on an overstuffed Wednesday morning, the kind of day that felt like a sprint before you'd even tied your shoelaces. Our marketing bunker, Conference Room Delta, was buzzing with caffeine-fueled energy, whiteboards crammed with sticky notes, laptops reflecting half-finished PowerPoints. I took a breath, tapped the laser pointer, and began. Imagine a campaign that doesn't just announce our new product, I said, voice steady despite the knot in my stomach, but invites our audience into the story of its creation. We'll start with behind-the-scenes micro-documentaries, raw footage of our engineers brainstorming in the war room, the first prototype sprouting wings in the R&D lab. Every viewer becomes a co-creator, invested before the product even hits shelves. I clicked. A screenshot of our engineering team scribbling equations on glass walls filled the screen, bold text below, "Build with us." Heads swiveled. My assistant Priya scribbled notes furiously. My boss, Michael Torres, the CMO, leaned back, arms crossed, unreadable behind his horn-rimmed glasses. "We'll follow that up," I continued, "with a global scavenger hunt. QR codes hidden in city landmarks, linked to exclusive AR filters teasing product features. Winners get the VIP first run and shout-outs in our launch livestream. Then, on day X, we culminate with a synchronized livestream event, the first unboxing, live FAQs, celebratory fireworks animation in every city." Priya raised her hand, eyes shining. "I love how immersive this is, and the AR scavenger hunt taps Gen Z perfectly." She glanced at Michael. "Think of the UGC we'll get, millions of micro videos." Michael tapped his pen against the table. I felt the room tighten. "Thank you, Emma. That's comprehensive. But I'm not sure it aligns with our budget or timeline. We need something more traditional. Digital banners, sponsored posts, maybe a single product video and an email drip." He shrugged. "Let's table the microdocs for maybe the next quarter. For now, take the promo calendar I sent you and slot in the launch accordingly." My heart lurched. But Michael, without authentic storytelling, we risk blending into the noise. This campaign is our chance to stand out. His eyes dulled. "Look, Emma, we're not Apple. We have to play it safe. Let's pivot to what we know works. I'll send you the assets spreadsheet. Get those banners designed by EOD." I swallowed. Understood. Over the next 4 weeks, I watched Phoenix launch morph into a series of predictable maneuvers, banner ads, a 19-second teaser video shot by the in-house videographer, an email sequence dripping with bullet-pointed feature lists. The micro-documentaries, shelved indefinitely. The scavenger hunt, a budget line item with zero funding. The synchronized livestream, relegated to a TBD in our shared campaign doc. Priya and I exchanged furtive glances across our desks. She leaned over one afternoon. "I'm going to build those microdocs anyway, shoot short behind-the-scenes glimpses on my phone. We can use them for organic social." I nodded, grateful for her guerrilla spirit. One Friday, I sent a covert Slack message to our product engineer Sam. "Are you up for some rapid BTS capture next week? Let's rock some micro stories." He replied with a thumbs-up emoji and his familiar tagline, "Let's make some magic." Our unsanctioned footage quietly filled our social channels. A 30-second clip of Sam soldering the first circuit board, Lena in UX sketching user flows by neon lamp, a silent time-lapse of the prototype rotating on the 3D printer. Engagement spiked. Comments flooded in. "This is so raw and cool. Love seeing the process. Can't wait for the product." Priya grinned. "We're hacking the system." Then, last month, the bomb dropped. I walked into Conference Room Delta for my weekly check-in with Michael. I'd prepared an overview of our unofficial social buzz, metrics, UGC screenshots, user sentiment. He was already seated, laptop open, as Priya and I sat across. "Emma," he began, not looking up. "I've been reviewing our campaign dashboard. It's interesting, the product video and email sequences performed as expected, but our organic videos shot by Priya, your behind-the-scenes segments are blowing up social. Problem is, I wasn't consulted on that content." I frowned. I thought we agreed those would be supplementary. I flagged the performance early last week in Slack. He closed his laptop. "Look, those microdocs, they're exactly what I was going to propose to our executive team last month. I drafted a pitch deck for a process immersion campaign, word for word your proposal. But I shelved it because I wasn't sure the board would buy in under current budget constraints. That deck is still on my desktop, titled Q3 Immersion Strategies." My pulse thundered. "You pitched my idea to our execs behind my back?" He sighed. In a way. I saw the potential, but I needed to see proof of concept. So I kept it in my hip pocket, waiting for internal traction. You and Priya created that traction. Now I have all the data I need to greenlight it in Q3. I swallowed. And the credit? He glanced at Priya, then back at me. I'll handle the executive presentation next week. But I want you both, Priya and you, on stage with me. We'll co-present the performance metrics and scale plan. Your names will be on the slide for sure. I apologize for bypassing you initially. I didn't want to put you on the spot without data. But now, let's get it funded. Priya and I exchanged looks. Surprise, relief, lingering frustration. I exhaled slowly. I appreciate the offer to co-present, I said. But I need clarity. Will my original Q3 deck get credited? I'd like my name on the author slide. Michael nodded. Absolutely. We'll have a proper credit line. Concept and pilot execution by Emma Harper and Priya Singh. And I'll link to both of you as authors in the board materials. My jaw loosened. Okay. I'm in. Later that day, Priya and I huddled in the kitchen alcove. That was something, she said, pouring tea. Part of me is grateful. I've wanted that pitch deck to see the light of day for months. But I'm also pissed I had to bootstrap it stealthily. I sipped. Agreed. But I think we can own this. We have the metrics now. We can build the full campaign properly, with funding. And we'll both get formal recognition. I tapped my mug. Next week's presentation is our playground. She grinned. Let's make them wish they'd listened the first time. Over the weekend, I dusted off my original Phoenix launch deck and updated it for Q3. I resketched the micro-documentary modules, fleshed out the scavenger hunt roadmap, and rebuilt the synchronized livestream plan with detailed budget line items. I added our fresh data, 200,000 organic video views, 3% week-over-week follower growth, early user surveys showing 74% increased brand affinity after BTS content. I wrote a crisp executive summary. Pilot success process immersion drives authentic engagement and brand loyalty. Requesting $150K for Q3 scale, expanded docu-series, citywide AR scavenger events, global live launches. I color-coded each section, lavender for content strategy, plum for metrics, rose gold for investment request. My signature palette now synonymous with the immersive campaign. Priya and I rehearsed. She would open with the narrative, why authenticity resonates. I would follow with the data, how pilot metrics validate the strategy. Michael would close with business impact, projected ROI, revenue uplift, and margin growth. On Monday, Michael sent an invite, revised Q3 immersion strategy presentation, Wednesday 9 a.m. The board roster glowed in my calendar. CFO, COO, VP sales, and 2 external investors. I felt equal parts excitement and nerves. Wednesday dawned cool and clear. We arrived early at the glass-walled executive suite. The board members filed in, murmuring greetings. Michael stood at the head of the table, laptop plugged into the projector. Priya and I took positions one step behind him. He introduced us. I'm pleased to welcome Emma Harper, Senior Marketing Strategist, and Priya Singh, Social Media Specialist, to present our revised Q3 immersion strategy. Their pilot initiative generated compelling results, and today they'll show how we scale it for maximum impact. Priya stepped forward, voice steady. Good morning. We embarked on a pilot campaign last quarter to test authentic brand storytelling. We produced 10 micro-documentary vignettes, 30-second BTS clips, spotlighted on social channels and our blog. We also seeded a mini AR scavenger hunt in San Francisco that drove local press coverage and foot traffic metrics. The results: she clicked a slide with a heat map of QR code scans and engagement bars, exceeded expectations across KPIs. I moved to the next slide. Here's the breakdown. 200K views, 3K user-generated posts, 5% conversion lift in email signups, and a 40-point jump in brand sentiment surveys. Based on these data, we propose scaling to 8 global hubs, producing 50 vignettes, and launching a cross-platform scavenger hunt synchronized to each hub's live stream. The CFO interjected quietly. Your metrics are strong, but can you expand on budget? What's the forecasted ROI? I clicked to a cost-benefit slide. Line items for production, Arkansas development, site management, influencer partnerships, and a projected revenue lift of $1.2 million at a 4-1 return. The framed projection glowed in soft rose gold accent bars. The CFO nodded, impressed. At the close, Michael asked, "Any major risks?" I answered, "Production capacity can be managed by scaling vendors we vetted. And Mara, our video lead, can oversee quality. AR Tech has redundancy through our partnership with CodeFlux. An alignment with local PR teams reduces rollout friction." A final nod from the COO. Then the investors leaned back, exchanging smiles. Michael turned to me and Priya. "Shall we call the vote?" He clicked the board portal. "Approve Q3 immersion strategy." One by one, check marks appeared. The last investor clicked approve, and the green bar filled the slide. Later in the hallway, the COO shook our hands. "Brava! This was the bold, data-driven creativity we need. Kudos." The CFO clapped me on the shoulder. "Well done. And your slides were stunning. Great job on that palette." We walked past Michael toward the elevator. He grinned, eyes bright. "See? They loved it. Sometimes you have to show them the data first." I smiled tightly. "Thanks for championing us." He sighed. "I should have listened the first time, but better late than never." Priya bumped elbows with me. "We did it," she whispered. Out in the lobby, we paused. The morning sun glinted off the polished marble. TechFlux's new campaign posters, lavender, plum, rose gold, lined the corridor, each emblazoned with Process Immersion, Q3 launch. At the bottom, created by Emma Harper and Priya Singh. My name felt weighty and right. I took a deep breath and turned to Priya. Part 1 ends here, with our original pitch fully embraced, credited and funded. Next up, executing at scale. She grinned, and making sure they never forget the names behind the campaign. We stepped forward together, co-creators stepping into a new season of bold storytelling, ready to prove that when your idea finally lands, it can change everything. We kicked off the Q3 Process Immersion campaign on a brisk Tuesday morning in San Francisco. Priya and I arrived at the pop-up hub, an airy loft space overlooking the Embarcadero, stacked with easels, Arkansas code stands, camera tripods, and branded tote bags. Our micro-documentary crew, 2 videographers and a sound engineer, busied themselves setting lights and testing mics. Outside, blue, plum, and rose gold flags fluttered in the breeze, each emblazoned with the tagline, "Automate the everyday, amplify the extraordinary." "Ready for liftoff?" Priya whispered, adjusting her headset. I exhaled. "Let's go build some magic." At 9 a.m. sharp, we streamed our first Behind the Build vignette live across LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. The footage cut from a close-up of Sam's fingers soldering microcontrollers to a time-lapse of our engineer Marta, hunched over UX sketches. Nathan's voiceover, warm, unpolished, introduced viewers to the team's mission. Comments scrolled. "This is what transparency looks like. Obsessed with the color palette, so fresh. I feel like I'm in the lab with you guys." We fed the momentum into the lobby, where visitors scanned AR codes at 3 stations. The first code, hidden beneath a cafe table, triggered an on-screen riddle. "Find the filament that glows brightest at midnight." Scavengers hurried to the back corner, where a wall of filament spools awaited. Scanning the correct purple tomato spool unlocked the next clue. 8 teams rushed through these mini-quests, their phones buzzing with pop-up video teases of upcoming product features. By noon, our pop-up had reached capacity. The local press, TechCrunch, VentureBeat arrived for on-the-spot interviews. I ducked into a corner to answer a flurry of questions. Why empower the user as co-creator? How does AR deepen brand connection? Each response felt rehearsed yet genuine. If your audience builds the story, they're invested in its outcome. That afternoon, disaster struck. Our livestream feed went dark during the second vignette. We watched in horror as buffering wheels spun and viewers dropped off by the hundreds. Priya's face paled. "I'll handle Nathan," I said, sprinting to the control tent. Nathan's voice crackled over our Slack channel. "What's happening?" "We're losing engagement." I barked back, switched to backup server. "Marco, roll the pre-recorded segment." Within 60 seconds, our tech snag became an opportunity. We pivoted to a pre-taped director's commentary style clip. Marta and Sam banter about the war room brainstorm, complete with playful sound effects. The tone shift felt spontaneous and authentic. Viewers rejoined and commented, "Love the BTS bloopers. Tech hiccups make it even more real. Snap that segment, it's gold." The board members watching the feed nodded in approval. Adversity met with agility. I exhaled, adrenaline rushing. By Wednesday, we'd refined the scavenger hunt mechanics to feed into a live leaderboard on our campaign microsite. The top 3 teams, university students, design bloggers, and a squad of TikTok influencers, would win VIP passes to our Saturday Global Simulcast launch event. Our dev team patched the AR app. User testers confirmed the fix. Priya retweeted victory screenshots. Engagement soared another 24%. That night, as we prepped for Thursday's live King Day with Product VP, I realized how tethered I'd become to this campaign. My neighbor called to remind me of our dinner plans. "Can't do tonight," I texted. "Deep work on global rollout." She wrote back, "You're unstoppable." I paused, recognizing the toll: 3 nights under fluorescent lights, 6-hour edits, 2 a.m. server checks. If I wanted to keep delivering, I needed boundaries. I sent Priya a quick note: "Let's grab dinner tomorrow before the Tokyo Shard activation." My treat. She replied with a string of heart emojis. Thursday morning, we extended the immersion to New York. A digital billboard in Times Square flashed our rose gold tagline, the AR code pulsing at its base. I called in via video to a press briefing at Adweek's downtown loft. "What's next after San Francisco's success?" an editor asked. "We're about to launch simultaneous vignettes in London, Berlin, Tokyo, and Sydney," I said. "Each city's feed will merge into a live global mosaic on our site, showcasing the universality of creation." The editor scribbled, "Global cohesion, hyper-local engagement. Nice." Back in SF, Priya monitored the global streams. "Already hitting London's launch. Look at that queue outside Shoreditch." She gasped. We cheered at the real-time map pulses. Friday dawned with cherry blossom AR overlays popping in Tokyo's Ueno Park. Our global scavenger hints had been carefully pre-translated: a haiku pointing to an old cherry tree, a riddle about river reflections leading to Düsseldorf's Altstadt, a code hidden in the Sydney Opera House's digital billboard for beachcombers. Social media lit up with travel check-ins and hash process immersion tags. Viewers from 4 continents showed off their finds, each clip auto-tagged and fed into our campaign hub. We'd built a living, breathing brand experience. I joined Nathan for a lightning round call to sync on metrics. 200K views in 72 hours, 10K scavenger hunt participants, 5% spike in trial signups. I rattled off. His voice brimmed, "This is beyond my wildest dreams." YouTube brought the story to life. That evening, we prepped for Saturday's global simulcast. 12 studio crews, 24 remote hosts, and our central command team linked via a massive Zoom integration tool. Priya and I set up our monitoring stations, chat windows, performance dashboards, sentiment trackers. We'd scripted the unboxing replay, the founder King Day, and the synchronized fireworks animation, a programmatic burst of virtual rose gold sparks swirling on viewers' screens. At 3 p.m. Pacific, the simulcast began. On cue, I clicked "Go Live" in our control center. A globe spun on screen, landmarks lit in lavender, and "You are now an insider" flashed in gold. I handed the host mic to Nathan. "Welcome, friends, to the moment we've all built together. From SF to Sydney, you made this reality. Cheers to your curiosity, your drive, and your imagination." His voice echoed globally. We began with the BTS film from the week, edited into a 2-minute montage of glitch recovery, city pops, and laughter in the lab. Then came the founder Kanda. Sam explained the spine of the automation engine. Lena teased future features. I fielded user questions about how to join the beta program. Comments poured in: "This is the coolest launch I've ever seen. I feel like part of the team now. Sign me up. Where can I buy your branded hoodie?" At the moment of launch, a countdown ticker appeared. 3, 2, 1. We triggered the virtual fireworks, a cascade of rose gold confetti and lavender sparks swirling on screen. In offices and living rooms, viewers cheered, some popping champagne in small glasses, others high-fiving through webcams. Sunday, the post-mortem, Priya and I wiped sleep from our eyes over matcha lattes at the cafe. Our Slack reports gleamed with final numbers: 1.2 M views, 50K scavenger hunt participants, 15% uptick in free trials converted to paid, and most gleaming, a 33-point jump in Net Promoter Score. We had not only justified the budget, we delivered a 3-to-1 ROI. As we logged into the office for our end-of-week debrief, Michael was waiting by the kitchen. He clasped our shoulders in both hands, sincerity glowing in his eyes. "Emma, Priya, you've set a new gold standard. I underestimated your vision. We'll be rolling this out as our evergreen launch playbook." I grinned, glad to hear it. He winked. And yes, your credits are baked into all the materials. From here on out, no more silent work. That evening, back in my studio, I updated my portfolio site. Under case studies, I added global process immersion, Q3 launch, with a 3-minute highlight reel, user testimonials, and a downloadable PDF report. At the bottom, in crisp type, Concept and Execution, by Emma Harper and Priya Singh. I clicked publish and watched visitor counts climb. I exhaled, feeling the arc of our story come full circle from a rejected pitch to a global launch that changed metrics and minds. Priya's Herculean support, Nathan's partner in crime role, and our shared resilience had woven a narrative that no traditional banners could match. As I closed my laptop, the city's lights shimmered beyond my window. I tipped the rose gold Fibonacci figurine on my desk, a small gift Nathan had given us in gratitude, and whispered to it, "Here's to the next launch, the next story," and to every voice brave enough to say, "What if we tried something bolder?" Because in marketing, as in life, the true measure of class is not playing it safe, but crafting experiences that invite everyone to the table and then celebrating every hand that helped set it.